I'm Mark Graham. I'm the ecologist working on the Upper Coldstream Biodiversity Project. One of the most important values of the Upper Coldstream area is the presence of the endangered population of the coastal emu. Previously the coastal emu occurred along the coastline from down around Port Stephens up to Ballina. That's going back 30, 40, maybe even 50 years. Nowadays the population has contracted massively, and the main population is in the coastal parts of the Clarence Valley from the Coldstream across to Urrugia National Park. In recent times there have been massive declines even in that remaining population, and there's a very real prospect that the coastal emu may become extinct. There are a number of unanswered questions about the coastal emu, one of which is about its genetic makeup, whether or not it's genetically identical to emus west of the Great Divide or whether it's genetically distinct, and there's a great need to understand whether the population on the coastline is genetically distinct. If it isn't genetically distinct, there may be some scope to enhance the population with introductions from out west or in some way bolster the population. If it is genetically distinct, every one of the 100 or less birds that remain are incredibly important, and we really need to do whatever we can to look after the coastal emu, to not just monitor it into distinction but to arrest its decline. In spring 2014 there was evidence in the Coldstream area of at least 2 different nest sites. There are great concerns that pigs, foxes and feral dogs may well be preying upon the chicks. It may turn out that within the next year to 2 years there may need to be far more active interventions surrounding nest sites and recently hatched chicks to ensure that those animals make it through to adulthood. The chicks can be protected after hatching and assisted to get through to sub-adulthood, so to a reasonable sized bird. It's highly likely that they're then able to protect themselves from predation from foxes and pigs, or to get away, to run fast enough to get away from those predators. So it may well turn out that within the coming few years, 1 year to 3 years, that there's a need, say of spring 2015 onwards, to find where the nest sites are and to particularly intervene and protect those areas. And we're certainly exploring ways with partners in National Parks and Wildlife Service and Office of Environment and Heritage, and of course the many landholders who absolutely love the emus in the Upper Coldstream, to do whatever we can to hang on to the population. It's a keystone species in that it disperses so many of the important rainforest and sclerophyll plants. It eats an awful lot of fruit, so it's to an extent holding the landscape together, and if the emu were to become extinct, a lot of those plants wouldn't be able to be dispersed as they are today. We're doing limited plantings of preferred emu feed species, native plants, such as lily-pillies and geebungs and palm trees, but more importantly we're doing restoration across a really broad area, across 4,000 odd hectares, to rehabilitate degraded emu habitat, to create food for emus, and to create access so that they can get into habitats, because lantana has invaded lots of areas, and the lantana has over the years become so thick that emus are simply unable to walk through that landscape. So we're doing habitat restoration with a view to giving emus more food and allowing emus to access areas. Nobody wants to monitor the extinction of a species. On the current trajectory, that's where we're headed, and I don't want to see that personally. I think that the extinction of any species is something that's completely wrong on every level, but particularly for the emu, which has immense cultural value and such important ecological value for the health of the people and the health of the landscape, we simply can't afford to monitor it into extinction. We need to do whatever we possibly can to prevent the extinction of the emu and to bolster its populations.